Welcome to today's Explainer. We're embarking on a super important and honestly, incredibly empowering journey today. We're going to unpack a hidden health condition that could literally be affecting you or someone you love right at this very moment. Now, I know health topics can sometimes feel a little overwhelming, but today is all about reassurance, clarity, and giving you the exact tools you need to take absolute control of your well-being. So, let's dive right into this. What disease affects nearly half of all adults, actively damaging millions of bodies right now without producing a single outward warning sign? Seriously, no fever, no cough, no weird rash. You can go to work, hit the gym, and feel absolutely fantastic while this is silently happening in the background. Yep, the answer is high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. It is incredibly common. But the great news, and I really want to emphasize this right out of the gate, is that we have simple, practical, and highly effective tools to detect and stop it right in its tracks. You are totally in the driver's seat here.
Section 1. The Invisible Threat.
Now, check out this number. According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 46% of adults globally who have hypertension are completely undiagnosed. They are entirely unaware they even have it. Almost half. To put that into perspective, that's hundreds of millions of people. It's a staggering statistic, and it's exactly why medical professionals often refer to this condition as the silent killer.
Section 2. Understanding blood pressure. Let's look at how this builds.
To really grasp this, think of your circulatory system like the plumbing in a house. It's a great analogy. Your heart is the pump, and your blood vessels or arteries are the pipes. Now, normal blood pressure is like perfectly calibrated water pressure. The water flows smoothly, delivering exactly what the house needs without stressing the system. But high blood pressure, that's like cranking that water pressure up way, way too high. Consistently running water at that high force is eventually going to slowly damage the inner lining of those pipes and completely overwork the pump itself.
You know when you get your blood pressure checked and they give you those two numbers? Sticking with our pump analogy, that top number is your systolic pressure. That's the maximum force when your heart muscle actually contracts or squeezes, actively pushing the blood out. The bottom number is your diastolic pressure. That's basically the baseline pressure in the pipes when the pump is resting and refilling with blood between beats.
So, what numbers should you actually be looking for? Well, this chart, based on the American Heart Association guidelines, breaks it down perfectly. Normal is less than 120 over less than 80. But notice that stage 1 hypertension officially starts when that top number hits just 130, or the bottom number hits 80. And stage 2 is 140 or higher on top, or 90 or higher on the bottom. Getting familiar with these specific numbers is really your very first line of defense.
Section 3. Why it remains silent. The tricky thing, really the core deception of hypertension, is that it is highly asymptomatic. It develops so incredibly slowly over years that your body just kind of adapts. You feel completely fine. People often think, well, if my blood pressure was high, I'd have a headache or I'd feel dizzy. But those delayed symptoms, they rarely happen until the condition reaches a severe or even life-threatening stage. Relying on how you feel is simply not an option here.
Which brings us to Section 4, the hidden health dangers. So what actually happens to those damaged pipes over time? Well, that constant high-pressure pounding creates tiny little tears in your artery walls. Over time, cholesterol and fats build up in those tears, narrowing the vessels. This can lead directly to heart attacks or heart failure, simply because the heart has to work so hard to pump that it thickens and exhausts itself. It can block blood flow to the brain, causing a stroke or vascular dementia. It damages the delicate vessels in your kidneys and even your eyes, potentially causing vision loss. But remember, while this sounds scary, it's a slow-building consequence, which means we have a massive window of opportunity to prevent it.
Section 5. Common risk factors. While there can sometimes be an underlying medical issue, most of the time primary hypertension is a mix of lifestyle factors that put strain on our circulatory system. A diet high in salt basically acts like a sponge, causing your body to retain fluid, which adds more volume and pressure to the pipes. Smoking and vaping instantly damage and stiffen your artery walls, and things like a lack of physical activity, carrying excess weight, excessive alcohol, chronic stress, and poor sleep, they all force your heart to work overtime.
Now, obviously, we can't stop the clock on getting older, right? And we can't rewrite our genetics or our family history. Those are our non-modifiable risks. But we have immense immediate power over our modifiable risks. Your diet, your daily movement, avoiding tobacco, these are the levers you can actively pull right now to profoundly protect your health.
Section 6. Prevention and Early Detection.
All right, here is your step-by-step action plan.
Step number 1, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, is to get screened. Because you can't feel it, a quick, completely painless check at a doctor's office, a pharmacy, or even with a home monitor is literally the only way to know your numbers. From there, it's all about adopting a heart-healthy diet and incorporating more movement into your day to help manage your weight.
Diet-wise, adopting a DASH or Mediterranean eating plan, which are rich in fruits and whole grains, is incredibly powerful. You want to try and slash your sodium to under 1,500 milligrams a day while boosting your potassium with foods like bananas and avocados. Potassium actually helps balance out the salt in your cells. Also, aim for about 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise a week. Honestly, just a brisk walk makes a huge difference. In fact, dropping just 10 pounds can lower your top blood pressure number by 5 to 10 points. That's a real game changer.
But I also really want to be clear about something. Sometimes genetics are just strong. And if lifestyle changes alone aren't quite enough to get the numbers down safely, that is perfectly okay. Medical science has incredibly effective, common medications like ACE inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, and diuretics that do absolutely amazing work to relax your blood vessels and eliminate excess fluid. Your doctor will tailor a plan specifically for you.
So we've seen how hypertension works, why it hides so effectively, and exactly what we can do to stop it. High blood pressure might be invisible, but it is definitely not invincible. You hold the power here. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. The only way to stop a silent killer is to listen to your numbers. So when was your last check? Go get that quick, painless screening, take control of your health, and keep on learning. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.